And everyone on this wall is either from Baltimore or lives in Baltimore. It had a really big influence on civil rights. Of course, Dr. Hicks was the first city in 1955. Robert Houston is a civil rights photographer who shot Dr. King's Poor People's Campaign in D.C. for Life magazine, and he was represented by Black Star. His work's been shown all over the world. He lives in East Baltimore. I mean, they won't move, and everything. He loves his little house right in East Baltimore. Him and his wife live there. It's over off of like Preston and Biddle, like that area up there. Simeon Booker's, the reason his photo is so big is he's extremely important. He's the first African American journalist for the Washington Post. He covered the Emmett Till trial for Jet and Ebony magazine. Went back down for Freedom Summer, went to Vietnam. He was the first black correspondent to cover Vietnam for the Washington Post, Jet magazine. He's 98 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, him and Dr. Lowry were my top list that I had to get for obvious reasons. He's extremely frail. He still speaks. He spoke at Morgan's commemoration for the journalism school. So he still speaks. He gets around, but he's extremely frail. Les Payne. Anyone see The French Connection?
Yeah.
It's based on Les Payne's work, his book, The Heroin Trail, which he wrote. Yes, he's the founder of the Society of Black Journalists, first one. Yeah, he worked for the Washington Post and the New York Times and won a Pulitzer for The Heroin Trail, which they turned into The French Connection, wanted to. So, of course, everyone knows Eddie Conway, my man. This is actually a really interesting photo, the way we got that portrait. He wears, if you've ever seen Eddie, he usually has his signature sunglasses on. So I took a few with the sunglasses, and he said, well, can I take one without my sunglasses on? I said, sir, you can do whatever you want. Yeah. He said, all right. And I said, but you can't smile. And he said, smile. He's like, man, I've been angry for 44 years. And that's when I snapped that, and that's where that look came from. So it was completely unposed. So.
But he's such a gentle person.
Yeah, oh yeah. He's extremely important to prison reform now. He's working with youth, inner city youth, which is good. So yeah, everyone on the Maryland wall is pretty special to Baltimore, in Maryland specifically. So.
And Dr. Karango was born right on the Eastern Shore.
Yeah, not many people know that Dr. Karango is from Maryland, even though he's associated with Oakland and West Coast. He's from Maryland, so he's part of the. Asante, I don't think knew that. Someone didn't know that worked here. He was actually born on the Eastern Shore. Yeah, which is cool. So if anyone has any questions, I mean, this is what today is for. So any technical questions, anything. By the way, thanks for coming out in the rain. I told my wife I expected 1 or 2 people to show up. This is great. This is a great turnout. So I really appreciate you guys coming out. Is there any questions?
I just wanted to thank J.M. Giordano for doing this, and thank you all for coming. And that at 1 o'clock you're welcome to go to a talk by Dr. Deborah Willis. She is one of the country's foremost photo historians, and she's going to be revealing some rarely seen photographs from the Emancipation era that show African American life during that time. They're really sort of moving and touching photographs and a way to understand that period of time in a new way. And also at 1 o'clock up here in the gallery, we'll have a living history performance of Henry Box Brown, and literally he was shipped in a box to freedom. So we'll have an interpreter performing that story up here in the gallery.
Yeah, and take a walk around and see the museum. I mean, if you've never been here before, it's a fantastic space. So everyone paid to get in, so you might as well take advantage of it, get it for everything. Any questions? Anybody? Any questions? Richard Avedon. A-V-E-D-O-N.
What makes you think this will stop in 2016?
Well, we're can't really discuss much. There's a bigger plan for this series. That's all I can say right now. But and that's looking like around 2016. So I have other series, projects that I want to work on. So you know, my next big thing, the next thing I want to do is I want to track down. 2015 is the anniversary of the fall of Saigon, and I want to track down the soldiers who broke the roof with the helicopter and take the portraits. This will be more of a black background. This will be a little more somber than these, but yeah. So I want to have it as much as I can. I mean, if there's more, I'll.